Hello everybody, my name is Sinead and this is Lockdown Made Me. So, Lockdown Made Me is a creative writing, spoken word, poetry, lyricism project that myself and Jake Woods, aka spoken word artist Woodsy, have created for Right Here Festival for Creative Crawley. Now, we had hoped that we would be delivering this in person somehow, but obvious circumstances mean that we can't. So we are really hopeful that these pre-recorded workshop sessions will support you to take a similar process that we had intended running live, exploring the impact that lockdown has had on you. So what has lockdown made you do, feel, think, say? And we hope that in the process of that, you're going to be exploring and developing your own voice from pen to paper, your creative writing skills, and perhaps even some of your performance skills. So how's it going to work? You've got me and you've got Jake Woodsy, who will also be appearing on this screen soon. And we're going to take you through a series of workshops. There's 3 in total. And within each of those workshops, there'll be a slightly different theme that supports you to reflect on, explore and unpick life since March 2020. Each will have a slightly different framework thematically, but all of the workshops will follow the same format. So we'll start off with what we call a creative connector, which supports us to warm up, get our brains in gear, start to think about how we might want to write and get into that space, into that zone. Then we'll have our main tasks, and then we'll have some suggestions or pointers as to what you might like to do for the next session, or things that you can explore, download, look at to further develop your writing skills and or your performance and spoken word skills. So today's session, the title for today's session is You Must Stay at Home. Cast your mind back. We're talking March the 16th, March the 23rd, when Boris Johnson and his team told us that we were heading into a national lockdown, that these restrictions were going to be in place. We are going to ask you to really rewind and recall and explore your thoughts, feelings and actions around that time. And that's going to be the main focus for this session. But before we go on to the main task, I'm going to hand you over to Jake, who's going to run this session's Creative Connector with you.
Thank you very much, Sinead. Appreciate that. Okay, hi everybody. How we doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a good Christmas, a good New Year. I know it's been a kind of crazy start to 2021, but we move forward, we adapt, and yeah, I'm sure things are going to go well. And I hope you're going to be able to stay creative, and hopefully doing these free writes that we're going to do and doing this project is really going to help with you to be able to create stuff during this new lockdown. So we are going to work on our creative connector today, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do a free write. So a free write is where you have to just constantly write, okay? So you've got your pen and it just has to constantly move. So you can be writing, say, 1 or 2 lines and they're going really well. And then maybe you get to the 3rd line and it's not really relating to those other 2 lines, or you're just kind of stuck. You've hit a kind of a writer's block at that point. The idea is to then just keep going, just keep writing something else, and just keep your pen moving. That's the idea, okay? So for me, a free write as a spoken word artist is really important. So if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a project, I will usually always do a free write first, because it gets my mind going, it gets the juices kind of flowing. And I'd say it's kind of like stretching before you play a football match. So you're just kind of warming up your body and you're getting ready to do it. Okay, so with free writes, you can put a time period on them. Some people do them for 5 minutes, some people do them for 10 minutes, some people do them where they do one free write for 1 minute and then they add time as it's going on. But what I'd say for me personally, the perfect time is in between that 5 and 10 minute period. So I was at a friend's house when we were writing before, and we were kind of stuck as 5 minutes seemed too short, 10 minutes seemed too long. So what we decided to do, is do 8:38, because at that time it was actually 8:38 in the evening. We were like, let's just give it a try, and from then it's just kind of clicked. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys if you could do 8:38 free write. So put 8:38 on your stopwatch or on your alarm, and then you can pause me. I want you guys to just write, okay? Just constantly write, because you're gonna find gems. You're gonna come back and read it, and you're gonna find some gems. So yeah, give me a quick pause, and then we'll come back.
Lovely. So thank you, Jake. Hopefully that Creative Connector, the 838 activity, has helped you to warm up, get in the zone for some more writing. Today's task. So you must stay at home. Want you to do a little bit of prep before you write your first piece of creative writing for Lockdown Made Me project. 5 minutes for this prep. What we want you to do is scroll back on your phones or your devices, your laptops, your tablets. Scroll back to March, even February. Back to when we first heard the murmurings of this being a fairly major global situation, an emergency, and the murmurings of the restrictions and lockdown kicking in. So look back on your phone and look at text messages, WhatsApp, Snapchats, Instagram posts, your emails, perhaps back and forth to work or back and forth to colleagues, your phone call records, things you might have saved in your notes that you were reading, articles, etc. So basically, you're looking back on your digital record of this time frame. And for the prep task, all we want you to do is grab things from that jump out at you as, oh, I'd forgotten I said that or did that or read that or heard that or was sent that, and write it down. So start a fresh page, just a plain piece of paper, and just write down your notes corresponding with what you find within your digital interactions between sort of end of February, March 16th, March the 23rd. So if you struggle to find that for whatever reason, you might have wiped your phone, you might have wiped all your data somehow, then look at headlines, look in the media, look on other people's Instagrams, have a look back on that time frame within the media and see what you can find. So 5 minutes prep, and that's for you to just gather your thoughts and remind yourself of what was going on for you digitally, what you were thinking and feeling and saying and doing and receiving in that time frame. So pause me for 5 minutes. I would suggest you get quite strict with this and pop your timers on your phone, so you really do give yourself 5 minutes to unpick, because there's likely to be quite a lot of material on your phones around that time. Pause me for 5 minutes and get your notes ready. You now should have a page full of notes ready for this main creative writing task for the first session. If you struggled taking the notes and you want to take a bit more time, another suggestion would be that you screenshot, as you're reading it, you screenshot anything that jumps out at you, so you've got a visual record of it if you struggled to take the notes for that prep task. The beauty of having these recorded is you can press pause at any point. You can stop me or Jake at any point, rewind us, recap for yourselves, take your own time. The more time you take on this, the better. So 5 minutes is the minimum we'd suggest for that prep task, but if you need to go back and do more, do. Otherwise, the main task. So on my screen here, you're going to see some prompts appear. This main task will have the title, You Must Stay at Home. So pop that onto the top of your paper or into your computer, depending on where you are writing this. You Must Stay at Home is the title. Now, your prep work, what we want you to do with that is extract at least 4 key sentences, phrases, titles, text messages, whatever you found, 4 key interactions or digital records from your phone that you found particularly interesting or surprising or moving, that jump out at you. So have a look at that page, that piece of paper that you've created, and pull out at least 4 digital interactions. Now, for the main piece of writing, what we want you to do is interweave those digital interactions with your internal monologue. So what do we mean by an internal monologue? We mean the subtext, the thoughts behind the messages. So for example, if you text your mum the day it was announced and your mum was saying, oh, what are we going to do? This is awful, this is horrific. And you were thinking, deep down, you were thinking, yeah, it is, I'm really, really nervous about this, I'm really worried. But actually you text back saying, it's going to be fine, mum, it's cool, it's all good. That was your text. It's going to be fine, mum, it's cool, it's all good. But what was the subtext? The subtext might have been, yeah, I'm panicking too, but I don't want to tell you. So have a think about what was behind the messages, your thoughts and feelings behind the messages. And you've got two options here that we would suggest, but you can also just free flow and see what happens. The two options we would suggest are, you have your 4 digital interactions at the top of your piece of paper, and then you just free flow after that. Or you interweave the digital interactions, perhaps underlining them and making them clear for yourself, with the thoughts and feelings and the subtext and internal monologues behind them. Prompts for that, what I've just explained, are up here on the screen. So we want you to take at least 15 minutes to complete this activity, and give yourself more time if you need to. And Jake is going to give you an example of how he would respond to this activity.
Okay, thank you very much, Sinead. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my example of what I've written. I used just 15 minutes as well. I promise I didn't take longer. I hope you guys trust me. But yeah, so this is what I wrote for You Must Stay at Home. March the 15th, 2020. My vision seemed so clear, having just got off a plane from LA. Little did I know how drastically things were about to change. Exactly a week before my birthday, the whole of the UK got some news that I took in the worst way. You must stay at home. No more shows, no more handshakes. What happens to all of the plans made? You must stay at home. The 17th of March 2020. Headlines say life put on hold. Stay home. Funny how life's now on hold, so we pick up the phone, checking on our loved ones and hope to see them soon. Until then, we're having house parties online and catching up on Zoom. You must stay at home. March the 21st, 2020. Lots of messages for my birthday, but I don't feel like celebrating. At least not now. By myself in my bedroom all alone. It's a national lockdown. You must stay at home. On March the 23rd, I heard from a friend about a show online that I should attend. Instagram lives became part of my life. Met people from all over the world, which helped inspired me to write. From connecting online to connecting with myself. I even started cooking and looking out for my mental health. Even though the new normal isn't normal, you must stay at home. Yeah, so that's my quick way of trying to do that poem. So I hope you guys have fun with it. Just try and be creative as you can. And like I said with the free write as well, if you get to a line and you're just stuck, just leave that line and go on to another one, because what you write later on might then relate to that part. Sometimes when the way I write is I'll write a couple of lines and I get stuck, and then I'll come back, I'll leave like a little space, and then I'll write something else, and then later on when I'm writing I'll be like, that's going to fit into that space. So the idea is to just keep writing, just enjoy it, have some fun with it. Make sure you pause me, put 15 minutes on the clock, and I can't wait to see what you guys have got.
Hello again. Great. So I'm hoping if you're watching this, it means that you have done your creative connector, done your prep task, started work on, for at least 15 minutes, started work on your main piece for this session. You must stay at home. And you've seen Jake's example, which hopefully, if you're struggling to get started, will help you to kickstart some of your own thinking. Take time on this. As I said in the last clip, the beauty of them being pre-recorded is you don't have to just do 15 minutes. You could take a whole day, 2 days, 3 days, a week to work on this. Come back to these videos whenever you want to refresh yourself on what we've been suggesting for the creative writing material and the prompts. And the long shot of this is we are hoping that some of you will want to submit your material to us to use within the festival. If you're feeling brave, if you're feeling fancy and you really want to put that out there, then we would like you to send us anything that you've written for this project during these workshops, or maybe you've written it during lockdown anyway. So something that connects your thoughts and feelings and experiences of life since March 2020, either through these workshops or stuff you've already been working on. We would love to have that. Now, you could have the opportunity to have your material showcased and performed by Woodsy on the festival, within the festival, for all of Crawley to see. If you would like that to be the case, then you need to send us your written pieces by the 27th of January at the latest to be in with a chance to have it performed for the festival. Now, last bit, I'm handing over to Jake to give you some examples of some things to look at and maybe watch between now and the next video as examples of lyricism, spoken word, performance and material creation. Thank you so much for joining us for this first session of Lockdown Made Me. See you for session 2.
Thank you, Sinead. Wow, what a great first session. I think you guys have done really, really well. I can't wait to see what you've written. Can't wait to look over it. And yeah, before we go, I've just got an app to tell you about actually. So basically this app is called Wordscapes. You can get it on the App Store. Just type in Wordscapes. I think it's all one word. And it's basically a game with anagrams. So it's where you get given, say, four letters, and then you've got to try and match them up. So then those 4 letters can make like 4 or 5 different words. And it's a really, really good way of kind of getting your brain working, getting those thoughts kind of moving. And it's also a really good way to kind of look at a word and be like, wow, there's so many other ways I could use that word, and use those, maybe just those 4 letters and use them in a different way. So what I'd say is, if you've got some spare time, try and download that app. It's free from what I know. And yeah, just have some fun with it. Obviously, we're all in lockdown at the moment, so we've got loads of free time. And it's a really good way to kind of work around words and to also work with some wordplay and just get your mind thinking, get those words flowing, basically. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to session 2 and have a great evening. Peace.